All right. So you never crossed the line. You never touched anybody, but your eyes tend to wander.
Not me.
Your ego is fed by strangers' compliments. You share frustrations about your spouse with somebody who's not them. You think you're loyal, but cheating doesn't start in the bedroom. It starts long before that. So let's talk about it. Don't go nowhere.
Later, I'm trying.
The on you, boy. The on you.
It's the same every week. I'm trying to just give me 1 second. I promise. Just give me 1 second. I promise. Give me 1 second.
Listen, there are 5 signs, subtle, sneaky, and common, that you might be sliding into a cheating situation in that territory without even realizing it. If you're doing these, then you're already closer than you think. You're already closer. So we're going to break them down. We're talking about tonight 5 signs you're probably going to cheat, even if you haven't yet. 5 of them. 5 signs you're probably going to cheat, even if you haven't yet. So real quick, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. We want you to lock in with us. Lock in with your boys right now. Right now. Subscribe, share it out, do all of that good stuff. We appreciate you. Just want to let you know, we do appreciate you. But we're going to get into this real quick. I am Derek, the thought engineer.
Well, I need some of your energy.
Hey, man, I'm trying to help my man, comedian John Yogi.
Well, they whoop my legs today.
Hey, they whoop your legs today?
Whoop my legs and my feet.
You're on the plantation, is it?
Whoa.
That's your name, Toby, huh?
What are you talking about? Whatever you want me to be, just stop. Just stop hitting.
All right. So we got the 5 signs. Before we get into that, talk to me. What's the most underrated form of cheating you can think of? Most underrated form of cheating you can think of.
What's the most underrated form of cheating?
A most underrated form of cheating. What would you say is the most underrated form of cheating?
I think when you start talking to somebody else. I think anytime you have somebody's mind before you have their body, to me, that's the worst thing. Because even though you're here with me, you'd rather be somewhere else.
Oh,
That's the most difficult part about cheating to me.
So when somebody starts taking up space,
yes,
mental space,
yes, absolutely,
in your mind, to the point to where I'm guessing when you're not around them, your mind is.
You're trying to figure out what they doing, what they doing.
Your body's here with
like
me, but your mind
is on the other side.
On the other side of town. Stop dogging me around.
Well, they had some songs.
Oh boy, they was going through some things back then.
They might have been on something. Yeah, they might have been on something.
Okay, I can go with that. I can go with that. How do people get in that space though?
Well, you get in that space because every relationship has issues.
Yes.
And when you're not talking to each other, you're going to talk to somebody.
Why do people foolishly assume or even look for the problem-free relationship?
Well, they tripping. They tripping.
Because listen, people, no such thing.
There's no such thing.
No such thing.
And people don't believe this, but there are people that are scouring the city looking for people in relationships. And why is that, Derek? I might ask. Because man, there is no easier conquest or no fuss as to a woman or a man in a relationship.
So which is a interesting question. I heard somebody say, so I want to get your take on it though. Why do people that are not in relationships tend to go for people that's in them? Why would you say?
Because I only have to. I think we said this before. I only have to deal with a part of you. I don't get to deal with the food part of you. I get to deal with the fantasy part of you.
The fantasy, right?
Where I just deal with you for a few hours, and you drop your clothes off at the door, and because honestly, the best part of you is when you think you're going to have sex, you're trying to have sex, the conversation before and after sex is the best part of you.
So it's all around the sex.
It's all around sex. Oh man, that's all about that. It's all about that.
I heard a young lady say one time, she said people tend to go for the especially they go for the guys in relationships already because guys have proven that they can do relationship.
Yeah. Well,
they see them actively doing relationship. So they like move her out the way, insert myself, and we good. I got a guy who already knows how to do this.
Well, yes, because most of the time when we see people, we see them without their partners, and we see ourselves in them. Most times, nobody sees a relationship and say, "Oh, I'm happy for them. I'll just go find me somebody else." Nobody says that. Nobody.
So is the I want what they have? Is that a smoke screen for?
I want him or her.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna just use hypothetical.
Okay.
If, Will Smith and Jada were relationship goals.
Okay.
So when women looked at Will, were they saying, "Oh, Will is such a relationship guy, but him and Jada are together"? What they saying? But him and Jada are together. They saying, "Boy, if I had a chance."
Yeah.
If I had a chance for Will, and then the same people are saying the same for Jada. People don't see the whole picture. They see themselves in it.
So should you be leery of a person that admires your relationship?
Well, first of all, you shouldn't. And I don't want. My daddy told me this.
What your daddy say?
One of the few things my daddy told me before he ran and got the cool King filter shorts. This is one of the few things he told me. He said, guys are either after you. What he say? Either friends with you for what they can get or what you have. And I was like, but daddy, I'm 3. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man.
He said, you will.
You will understand one day, grasshopper.
He sure did. He said, no, I'll be right back.
Okay. Now I will throw this out. When a person is admiring your relationship, be leery of the one that focuses on one person in particular. Keep your eye on that person, right? They extra complimentary to one person.
I had to do one time. When I first started doing comedy, man, me and Cheryl were everywhere. Why I used to have to bring a fly swatter because they was on there. Oh, they was on the bed.
Oh man. Get off
it. one guy, the sound engineer guy, they showing me around the place and the sound and microphone, and just, hey, how you doing? He sees Cheryl and he lights up. Yeah. And he goes over to her, grabs her hand, and he goes to kiss her hand.
What?
Oh, yeah.
What?
See, and I was young and new to this. I was. Everybody was shocked. Like, what are you doing? What?
And he was American.
His brother, Coon.
He said Coon. Because I'm trying to see he wasn't he wasn't like from another country where they do.
I don't know who was the most taken back by me and Cheryl. Both of them was like, "What are you doing?"
But then what's that? Is there like get your yeah.
I just kind of laughed it off. I didn't make no deal out of it. But if I had knew what I knew now, I would have made a bigger deal. I'd have turned over some chairs and
you just
turned him.
You was taken aback.
I was taken aback. I clutched my pearl.
Okay. So have you ever crossed the line emotionally and then in your mind's like, it ain't that deep?
Oh man, all the time. What? No, that's not all the time. Not what I mean. I have in my younger years because you have to be thinking about every aspect of what you're doing. Nothing can go. You can't just be willy-nilly because folk be doing stuff and you're like, Lord, how have I got here? What is these feet doing up here? How did I get in here? Because this was not my intention. You just never know what people's intentions are.
Wow. All right. So
whose shoes is these anyway?
Right. You come get that question. Who this belong to? Right. No, don't want to fool with all that.
Oh man,
Don't want to fool with all that. So we want to get into what we talking about tonight. The 5 signs you're probably going to cheat, even if you haven't yet. Right. These are people or characteristics of a person who may be cheating prone.
Oh wow. Okay.
Right. They may be inclined, if you will, to go ahead and cheat and to step out. Right. So let's go with number one. Number one, you indulge in conversations about your spouse with somebody else.
That's the first no, man. That's first no, because you letting your try. That's the first no, man, because you let somebody inside a door. You opening up a door that you probably can't get closed.
Yeah. People think it's the glance that gets you. It's the conversation catch you a whole lot faster.
Conversation rule nations, man.
Oh man. And listen, when the conversation is starting to slip into subject matter.
Well, because it's only gonna stay in what's the word? It's only gonna stay in a good place. Man, a minute or two at the most. Yeah. You don't have that much. The weather, the football, the TV. It's only that surface conversation.
Yeah.
For us to get under there and go somewhere, we got to get past this pleasantries. Can we get past the pleasantries? Your name, your number, your kids, how long you been married, all that. Once it go past there, okay, so now where we at?
Yeah. I
notice you be at work all the time. I notice you working late a lot. Yeah, got some bills.
And listen, people watch you. People watch your patterns. People watch your moods. They pay attention to that stuff.
They do.
Especially if it's somebody that you come in contact with on pretty much a regular basis, like a coworker or something like that. Right? It's laughing and joking one day, talking about somebody else. Yeah, kikiing, right? It was you kikiing about somebody else in the office, all of this. But listen, the chances of you coming in there one day with the weight of your relationship on you and somebody seeing that,
oh man,
it's highly likely. And if you already used to talking to that person, then you might overshare. You might begin to overshare. So why do we justify emotional venting? Right? Why do we think it's harmless?
Well, we think it's harmless because we know and feel like we need to be talking to somebody. They say it's therapeutic to talk to somebody. Well, I also think some other things are therapeutic as well.
It's a physical therapy.
Because you're asking for. Now that I'm older, oh man, there's so many traps. The enemy has so many traps set out for us. Man.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff out there. But you want to vent because venting is a relief,
and you may need to.
But why is it this person that we choose to vent to?
Oh man, because they always know the right thing to say. They fall into a thing to where you say, man, you're so easy to talk to. I wish I could talk to my husband or my wife like I talk. You so easy, you so understanding. You don't have no stake in the game. So everything I say, let's see if that was me. I would come up to the job and pick you up and bring you some flowers or this. No, you would not. Again, the person on the side always has the best things to say because they don't have no interest.
Right.
They don't have nothing to lose in.
Right. They got no skin in the game.
They don't have no skin in the game.
Right. I saw a video recently. The boyfriend of the husband came up to the job.
You want to meet the what do you call the work husband?
Yeah, trying to the work husband put them things on him in bad fashion. So,
no, he did not.
Yeah.
You gotta be smart enough.
Yeah.
When you see him, if he looked like he got hands, you gotta be like, we
just say divorce. I'm done.
It's been a grave misunderstanding about what's really going on. I just want to know if you was gonna get lunch or whether I was gonna and then I would be no hands.
And all the other guys at the job was rooting the co-worker on the work husband on. So it was pretty bad.
What was she doing?
It was pretty bad.
What was she doing? Because she never should have came to that.
She called herself holding the husband back and all this type of stuff. But of course,
wait a minute, you can't hold the husband back if the other dude got the hand. You supposed to hold the other guy.
Let's say it didn't end well, and he got up and dusted himself off and he left. It wasn't pretty.
He drug himself to the car.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at that point she was like, "Yeah, I don't even want him now."
But it's not gonna work out.
No,
it's not gonna work out like she thinks with that work guy.
Oh no.
Because one thing I've learned over the years about getting with somebody, being with somebody that's with somebody else, that was with somebody else and I took her from them. I'm not gonna trust her.
Oh,
I took her from somebody.
Yeah.
You was with somebody and y'all was smiling and happy, and I came and got you.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm supposed to think you're not gonna do me the same way.
Yeah. You got a point.
What's so special about me? I mean, I know, but but
no, that's a valid question. That's a valid question. Number two, the second sign you probably going to cheat, even if you haven't yet. The second sign is
you're gonna cheat.
You like or seek attention from people. It doesn't matter where it comes from.
Oh, man.
You looking for that attention.
Oh, I had this girlfriend. She used to kill. She used to make jokes about. Never mind.
Your sensor wasn't working. You tried. Right. Okay.
She used to brag all the time about. She used to say.
Oh, you out there now. You out there in the street now. So go ahead. You out there in the street now.
When I was in the military, she used to say, well, if they won't listen to what you say, she used to brag about doing stuff to get attention. She was what can I say? She had a big butt.
Okay.
And she used to always say stuff about it. Well, if you need me to get him at attention, I know how to do that.
Oh.
She used to say stuff like that. And she wanted attention from guys. She was with me. She wanted attention from guys.
Yeah.
And I just always remember saying, "Woo, well, whenever I get out of this one, I never got to worry about me getting them like this one because that's one of the ones that stay in the mirror all the time, which is cool. But too much of anything ain't good for you."
Which probably speaks to an insecurity that was there too. I mean, you get older, you learn some stuff, you realize where this stuff comes from. Probably was an insecurity that she had.
She wasn't sitting on it.
She wasn't sitting on it. He flashing back over it.
I am not. I'm not. Yeah. So speaking of which, the woman who chooses to be nameless.
Okay.
She told me to tell y'all that I am no longer a chauvinist.
Okay.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's what she said?
That's what she said. That's not.
Okay.
She told me, why you want to tell them you a chauvinist? I'm like, everybody knows. Like, but you don't say it. Okay. I got caught up.
You got caught up. Okay. I get you. So are we addicted to attention in ways that we don't necessarily realize? Think about guys.
I think we are. I think, there's nothing that frustrates me more than someone trying to make my stage their stage.
Oh, okay.
I was at a wedding. You guys were at the wedding with me.
And
this guy sat at the table with me, and he was, as stuff was going on, he was trying to be funny guy. There's nothing worse than a funny guy at the table with a comedian because I know funny opportunities.
Yeah.
And I know when you're trying to create them and make yourself the funny guy. Man, sit down somewhere. It's not. Stop trying to take that spotlight from where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I don't have no bigger problem.
Okay.
With somebody trying to make it.
What about the compliment?
You can't compliment my wife more than I do.
Need a good, strong man to come help us move this and all.
But you can't compliment my wife more than I do. Every time I see your wife, I'm, hey, gorgeous. Oh, you sure looking pretty. Every time I say, man. You got it the third time you said it. You can't.
Is that a new hairstyle?
You can't do it more than me because we are shallow.
But what's the likelihood? Because you see your wife every day.
She common to me.
She common to you.
Yeah.
But for a person, if somebody locked in like that, they noticing things that you probably have overlooked just because you take for granted that, oh, that's my wife. And so they call it out, and she knows that, hey, I switched up. I'm wearing this different thing, this different perfume on my hair. I switched it up, and you didn't say no, but they always seem to.
I might have to say something. I might have to say something to him and her. I'll say something like, don't let nobody get shot today.
Yeah.
I'm a pistol in the car. Don't let nobody get shot today.
We do not condone violence
at
here
all,
at Man Talk
at
Monday.
All. But when we talking about cheating, you get what you get. You run out there, you might get something.
You might catch a little something.
Yes,
a little something. Got to fight every night to prove my love.
And that's the thing. But you also have to understand who you with. If your wife or husband likes attention, I know sometimes my wife gets kind of frustrated with me because no matter where I go, I'm always talking to somebody. No matter where we can go in the room with somebody, my table is gonna be a table that's gonna be laughing and talking.
Yeah.
Sometimes she over the years she's gotten used to it, but it wasn't always like that at first.
Oh yeah.
No, she wasn't.
You say, "Won't you shut up sometime?"
Why you always got to be ha table,
Mr. Funny Man?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I heard this young lady say one time. She said a man came up to her and asked her, you got a man? She said, yeah, I got a man. And then she said,
are you happy?
He said, are you happy?
Yeah, that's the trap right there.
And she said,
that's the trap right there.
She said, what that got to do with anything?
Because where I am in this particular moment has nothing to do with how my relationship is. Where I am with my
wife. Right. We may not be happy right now, but that don't mean it's gonna stay there.
Well, not only that, but my happiness has nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
You asking as if I'm gonna entertain what you saying, your conversation, to see if perhaps you can make me happy.
But ain't that the relationship ripcord when you want to jump out?
Well, that's where we go.
Pull the ripcord.
That's our go-to.
Yeah,
I had to be happy for me.
I deserve.
Yes,
I deserve happiness. Yes. So how you know?
Yes. Well, especially when you're happy today and you sad tomorrow.
Oh yeah. And then you end up chasing happiness, and
you
don't quite work out for you.
You can't run happiness down.
No. It's got to find you.
Happiness got new shoes on early. It will elude you.
Right. Don't ever get tired either.
Exactly.
Ever get tired. All right. Number three. You just gotta have sex. You got this internal engine that just won't. You can't control it.
I heard a guy say before that when he first got married, he was always had to have it. She was accommodating, and most of the time your partners are accommodating in the beginning of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
As the newness wears off the marriage, just like the newness wears off a new car, start smelling like the leather gets kind of old and worn.
Boy, you scared me for a minute.
I wasn't going.
Woo,
the newness
scared me for a minute there. Okay,
the newness wears off the marriage like it does.
Right.
When the honeymoon part phase is over.
Right.
When the honeymoon phase is over, the person that you sleeping with all the time, that's doing it for you, has to make a decision. They have to say, so what is going to be the norm? Because if I keep this up, this will be the norm, and I don't feel like this being the norm.
I don't want this to be the norm.
So I have to get you to a place to where I gotta find compromise in this, because it's not gonna be every day. It's probably not gonna be every other day. So I gotta get you on a 2 or 3 time a week schedule, and you got to be good with that. So they just kind of pull up some from you, and you be like that dog. I saw a picture of this dog. He walked behind this other dog. He smelled him, and he walked up to the side and started hunching. I said, you got to get to a point to where you don't have. You got to do something where you don't have to have it like that because it's mental.
Yeah,
you don't have to. Because what if something happened to where she can't have sex like that?
Right. If something happens to where your spouse can't accommodate your sex drive, when they can't, right? There's a physical reason, a health reason, or something where they can't. I would hope most guys would be understanding, and we kind of talking about guys.
Oh, that fine line. Oh, the fine line.
Yeah.
So if you a guy, you can't have sex. Is it gonna be okay for your wife to go and get her needs met, or you want her to hanging up with you?
That's a good question.
Cause
if the shoe was on the other foot,
absolutely, yeah.
Because we typically are pinned as the culprits.
Absolutely, yeah, yes.
But it can, because
it can easily.
What if he has health problems?
What if he got what they call ED?
ED, yeah. ED is real for
That's why
men of a certain age. That's why all the commercials and stuff. All the commercials talk about it.
That's why
because
it's
was
lying talking about her husband let her back go get tore out by other men.
Yeah,
and we was like, no, he's not doing that. You talked him into that.
Yeah. We told her he's probably on the verge of harming himself.
Yeah, unaliving
himself because of this. She told herself, "Oh, we had have an agreement. Things are good. He knows."
Lies.
I was like, "Put him on. Let us talk to him and see how this whole thing is." But it's something we have to definitely pay attention to. But I think it's in more of the times where you're being denied rather than it's.
Do you think we hold sex at too high of a regard? You think we put too much on it?
I think to a certain degree. I think sex for a lot of people represents you still locked in with me.
Mm-hmm.
You still locked in with me. So now if you're not doing it with me, now my mind starts racing. What's going on with you?
Well, and the problem with that in sex is we aren't as locked in as we should be mentally. We are we are so insecure about things, and they all seem to fall into mental issues.
Yeah.
If this not going right, that's not going right. It just
Yeah. But if you lack that impulse control, if you can't control yourself, if you just, man, I got needs, you know what I'm saying? I got needs. You got to learn how to turn that down and control that, because the opportunity to fulfill your needs outside of your spouse will present itself. And you playing with fire.
Yeah, but and then too, nobody that you're going to be with constantly is going to, whether it's outside the marriage or inside the marriage, is going to let you have sex like that. If you're constant like that, nobody. I don't care what she's doing to get you, she's not going to keep that up.
Yeah. And don't be using the Lord to avoid.
I remember one time
to avoid intimacy with your husband.
I'm spending time with the Lord. But when you get through, you come on over in here.
Yeah. But people gotta watch out for this, because this is a serious one, because most guys will kind of tell themselves to not want it as much.
Yeah.
If the opportunity is not presenting itself as frequently as he tells himself to not want it. But if you can't control it and tell yourself not to want it, then you probably you prone. You are definitely prone, right?
You're gonna cheat.
Yeah. We're talking about 5 signs you're probably going to cheat.
You're gonna cheat.
Even if you haven't yet.
If you ain't cheated, you're thinking about it.
Right? These are things you got to watch out for, right? So that was number 3. You just gotta have some. You just gotta have some. You skating on thin ice. Number 4, you're looking for fulfillment in someone else. You're looking for fulfillment in someone else. So that means you're seeking emotional or spiritual wholeness in someone other than your partner. Somebody else other than your partner. And it's a shortcut to betrayal, disguised as connection, right? You think you're making a connection with somebody, but it's a shortcut to betraying that person you with, right? Right. So
because you're vibing. I mean, one thing I've learned, the type of person that I am, I can't really go by whether or not I vibe with people, because I vibe with a lot of people. And so does that mean that I'm supposed to be with a lot of people? Now, if you ask me, my answer gonna be different from the lady that chooses to be named is gonna say.
Oh man,
she gonna hit you with some hell no. So what does that say about me? It just says that you're a nice person, that you're easy to talk to, you're a nice person. That's all it say. It don't mean no more, no less. But oftentimes what we do, we put way more on that than we supposed to.
Because you got the danger of outgrowing, or at least outpacing the person you with. Man, you start, I need somebody that understands me. I need somebody that's on my level. And all this, you start looking for that fulfillment in somebody else outside of you can always find your partner.
It. You can find it, but the problem with that is when you start talking like that, what if, so you leave somebody to go with the person that you feel like is better with where you are. Normally what ends up happening is they end up leaving you because they find somebody that's more on pace than where they are than where you are.
Oh yeah.
I just
there's still that lingering betrayal that they, you know what I'm saying? They looking at. Because if you left with them so easily, then why wouldn't you know what I'm saying, leave with somebody else, cheat on them with somebody else? Why wouldn't you do it?
So you believe what Shaq said about the 3 cheaters?
Well, for those of you, if you've been scrolling through social media, I'm pretty sure you saw it. So recently, Shaq was on a podcast and he's being interviewed, and he said something about, now he said this. He said, women are the reason why men cheat. And he said, you got three basic types of cheaters. He said, you got your serial cheater, which everybody, kind of goes without saying.
Everybody can get it.
Right. He says you got your James Bond cheater.
I liked him the best.
You like James Bond cheater? James Bond cheater means he said, I'm handling business, I'm doing everything I got to do, but I just happen to find myself in another city, another country, or something like that.
Boom, boom, boom.
Nothing wrong with a little fun.
Boom, boom. Nobody never come.
Right. As long as they don't follow me home,
there you go.
I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. And then he said the third guy is the guy who's forced to cheat. He said the guy who's forced to cheat. He said this guy, he's handling business. He comes home from a work trip or something. He goes in to try to be with his wife, and his wife was like, "No, I don't feel like it. No." And now time passes by, and he ain't got no needs met. And he said, "You basically just made that man go out there and have to get some." He said it's on you.
That's what Shaq said.
That's what Shaq said.
Shaq got
now, we're not saying Shaq is a relationship guru or nothing like that. This is what Shaq said.
But he might have been on to something.
Right. He said,
I'm just saying he might have been on to something.
Let me get Dr. Salita. She says, saw this post. No one wants to talk about this when it comes to infidelity. You got it up for your affair, but now you can't get it up for the woman who stood by you from the start. Yeah. And no, I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about effort, time, focus, energy, drive, attention. You sent hundreds of texts a day. You planned weekends like your life depended on it. You poured out your soul to a woman who didn't even carry your kids. You got creative. You got bold. You risked your family, and
There's more.
Okay, I guess that's it.
There's more.
Okay.
No, there's more.
So let's deal with this real quick for a second until part 2 comes in.
Yeah, there it is. Nope, that ain't it. That it.
Until part 2 comes in. All right. So why is it that I'm not even saying we're gonna put this just on men? Why is it that people who cheat seem to be so into it? They're energized. You going to the gym, you going to work out, you getting fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you doing all of the text messages, and some Negroes would get just as bold to be doing the text messages while they sitting there with you.
Because there's something missing. And normally when somebody is doing all that for something else, something's missing at home. And see, the issue is, it just sounds to me like we trying to put it on one group, one person or the other person, and everybody plays a part in cheating. Everybody plays a part in cheating. Something's not being done. Now, if you're looking forward and all the things that Selena said, something's gonna miss. Either you're not, but more importantly, whatever it is not being talked about. See, that's the biggest part of it. It's not being talked about. Communication is not being done. So when somebody else comes along, oh my God, this person finna get the best of you, and I've been here, and I got your kids. I've been here. I've been there. You know, that's my problem. That's my issue.
I'm like, why they get the best of you though? Why is that the best of you? I don't know if it's necessarily the best, but it's definitely the excitement.
Well, it's better than what you bring.
Because here's the thing. Number one, if you get married, don't look for every day to be romance and flowers and oh, I love you, and because here's the thing about it. If you get it every day, you gonna hate it. You're gonna end up hating it.
You want something else.
You're gonna want something else. And in relationships, it just happens. You're going to get very familiar, and the person is going to become very common to you. And this is why you need something beyond all of that stuff, which is really just fluff. You need something beyond that stuff to say, this is why I'm with this person. It ain't about the flowers. It ain't about the text. It ain't about, I know this person, they show up, they make sure things are good. And that ain't sexy stuff, but it's stuff that's consistent, and it's stuff that you actually need, because you can't run a relationship off the fun stuff.
Contrary to what people think.
Life is not built on the fun stuff. It has
to have some substance to the relationship.
Listen, Jacob worked 7 years, got tricked, right? I'm talking about Jacob in the Bible. Jacob, who came Israel. He worked 7 years because he was so in love. It say 7 years went by like it was a week. He worked 7 years for Rachel, got tricked and got Leah. He got Leah. Then he worked another 7 years. So he worked 14 years just to get to this woman, because that's where his heart was. But his strength and the promise came through Leah. Leah had Judah, which led to Jesus. That came from Leah. It didn't come from the fun stuff. It came from the one who he just had to deal with, because he was honorable in that. Mm-hmm. So the bulk of your life is not going to come from all of this fun stuff that everybody seems to focus on, because you keep watching all these movies and listen to all this music, and it's lying to you. Is it good to have? Absolutely. You can't take a vacation every weekend. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't be on flights and on ships and all. You not. You get 2, 3 in a year. You doing real good.
You doing good. Yes, you doing good.
Okay, I guess it's part 2. She said you got creative. You got bold. You risked your family and future to feel seen for a moment. Meanwhile, the woman who gave you everything, she got the scraps, the leftover energy, the occasional date night, a half present husband who always had an excuse for why he couldn't be emotional. I was like, wow.
But
and this sounds like it was written by a woman who couldn't see herself. But she can't see herself.
And it also sounds like one of the things she said was, she said he did all of this so he could be seen for a moment.
For a moment.
So he can be seen? So does that mean he wasn't being seen?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You can't look at how a person is moving and not look at and say, was I doing everything I could? Because it's easy to get complacent.
The problem is everybody think that they are. That's the problem. Everybody think, well, what? Why are you not? And the first thing they'll say is, you did that when we were dating. Well, we're no longer dating. We're married.
Yeah.
It's certain the relationship, as the relationship matures, things are going to be different.
Yeah.
We're not going to go out as much. We're not going to rip and run as much as the relationship matures.
Yeah.
And you're still expecting me to be as creative as I was when we were courting or dating, and that's not going to be the case.
Right. You got to understand your relationship going to go through phases. Listen, and there will be times to get the spark back and all this type of stuff. And you definitely want to plan stuff where you just not just sitting around all the time. You want to go on dates. And I understand, especially when kids get involved, kids just take up a lot of time, take up a lot of energy. That's when you find family members or babysitters or something, at least to give you breaks somewhere. If it's twice a month or something, but at least y'all got something to look forward to together and something to say, regardless to what, we gonna maintain this thing between me and you. But if the person, I guarantee that person has complained at some point in time.
Oh, he said something. Oh, listen.
And you can't look at the act and be like, I can't believe
that you're doing that. Because most of the time, men or women have been saying something.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine, his wife was, you don't ever take me nowhere. You don't ever, that she stayed at home with the kids while he worked. They had kids. She was always complaining, you don't ever talk to me. Only people I get talked to is these kids. This was her complaint for years. Well, she left after a while.
Yeah.
And she kept saying, I told you. I was telling you, most of the time, warning comes before destruction. It's just a matter of whether or not we choosing to listen to it or not. This because whoever is complaining is speaking.
Yeah.
And it may and again, it may not be all verbal.
Yeah.
But they definitely are speaking.
Yeah. You got to be aware of what they call the four signs of the apocalypse when it comes to marriage. And I forgot the guy's, John Gottlieb, I think is his name. I'm gonna ask my producer if she could find that for us real quick. The four signs of the apocalypse when it comes to marriage. You got to be aware of those things because there are phases to, there's a progression to this distance that tends to happen, and you got to be aware of it so you can try to catch it. You can try to catch it. You know what I'm saying? There are affectionate things that you got to do. You can't skip out on. You can't skip out on. But when somebody else starts getting, and it's a trap. It's absolutely a trap. We're gonna get number 5 real quick. We're gonna get number 5. All right. My producer, she's getting us the four horsemen. That's what it's called. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse as it pertains to marriage. As it pertains to marriage. And then we got the 4 things that I guess we had on a little while back Genesis Martin. She's a licensed therapist. John Gottman, that's his name. And she told us about you got four choices.
Yes, yes.
4 choices. She said, if you're not happy, she said you can
go get help.
Well, yeah, go get help. Do nothing. Leave or cheat. She said you got other things you can do before you get to cheat. But the last thing, cheat should be the last thing, but leave, get help, or do nothing. Some people choose to do nothing. And you have people that were sitting because this sense of duty and all of this.
If you sitting in, and I hate to use this word, so I'm trying to find another word. If you sitting in unhappiness, aren't you just waiting for somebody to come along and that you can cheat with?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be miserable in your marriage.
But saying that somebody else is making you miserable, aside from they're abusing you, but aside from that, you got to take some responsibility. Reminded of a quote about contentment, because that's the thing that people are missing. They're missing contentment. People don't know how to be content.
You sit down somewhere.
Right. Content doesn't mean you settling for less. Content means you can know how to control yourself to the point to where you're not making foolish decisions in pursuit of something. But it says the fountain of content must spring up in the mind. And he who has so little knowledge of human nature as to seek happiness by changing anything but his own disposition will waste his life in fruitless efforts and multiply the pain he proposes to remove. That's contentment starts with you. Contentment starts with you. So if you're not content, you got to start asking yourself some questions. Because even if it is having a conversation. All right. So the 4 horsemen.
I think one of the biggest lies that people tell themselves is that they settled for somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you actually think that you settle for somebody, then you're probably gonna cheat, and you giving yourself an excuse to do it.
Right. Yeah. You get with somebody who's really on your level, and then you end up leveling up in the relationship because y'all working together, and now you're getting attention that you didn't used to get. Yeah, man. That's what happens. Once you get with somebody and y'all working together, you end up leveling up. But when you level up, now you start getting attention from the ones that you thought you should have got attention from before.
Yes.
But you really wasn't there. Yeah. Because otherwise you would have got the attention.
Admitting that you're not there yet.
Right. Smell yourself. All right. Number five, you don't respect the person you're with. You ain't got no respect for the person.
You don't have no respect for losing them. You just
you don't
do anything. You just do and say anything to them.
The fact that they ain't going nowhere, you use that as opportunity to do your own thing. If you know you got somebody who's they there, they ain't going nowhere.
Then you don't cheat. You gonna cheat.
Yeah.
You pulling your pants down as we speak.
Because it's typically at the threat of somebody leaving that you.
No, you gotta have.
I gotta get myself together, man.
I say this all the time, man. But you gotta have a healthy fear of something.
Yeah.
You got to and when you don't, that's normally when we get in trouble, when you don't have a healthy fear of something.
Yeah. No, you absolutely right. And typically, most people they don't have a healthy fear of the person they with, or losing what they have. Because especially when it becomes too common, then you
take it for granted.
You take it for granted until you run out there and don't find what you already had.
Listen, I'm trying to tell y'all, them streets ain't what y'all think. I'm trying to tell them, them streets ain't
undefeated.
Man, them streets ain't what they thinking. That girl ran right back to that boy. She got divorced. It went on her divorce tour. The Mari girl.
Oh, is it Tia?
Tia,
Tamara.
One of the twins. Huh?
Tia, when she got divorced. When she got divorced, she went on. She all on all the podcasts, all the talk shows.
She wanted back now because them streets.
ain't
that no? Ain't the streets ain't kind. No, that's not what that is, man. That's why they make sidewalks.
Because it's dangerous out here in these streets, man.
Well, y'all don't want to hear me. Y'all don't want to hear me.
Have you ever stayed loyal to somebody you truly didn't respect?
No, I can't.
No, you can't.
I remember one time I had met this girl in. Let's see, I'm trying to think if I say too much. Okay, there's a statute of limitation on all. So, but when I met her, I remember she was talking real bad to her husband, and she was putting him out when I met her. And for whatever reason, she was from New York, and I had never heard people talk to. I had never heard a woman talk to a guy the way she was talking to him.
You from the South, man.
And
that's culture shock. Way New Yorkers talk, yeah.
And she was also real fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I allowed the fineness
cost you blindness.
To call me man, all I can say is God sure was good. Because you know how you find yourself in situations that you say, Lord, if you get me out of this, you ain't got to worry about me no more. I'm gonna go back to church.
Right. Sit on the front row.
What?
Join the deacon board.
Oh my God. Oh man.
If he said the streets eat you alive and spit you back out. Oh yeah. Nah, them streets ain't what it is.
No, it is not.
Now they look appealing.
Very much. Oh,
they look appealing.
Switching. You just gonna switch out here? Y'all go right on. You go right on, John.
So these are the 5 signs, right? But that fifth one. So what do you do when you, or how do people lose respect for the person that they're with?
By letting people get away with everything and don't say nothing. You gotta at some point in a relationship, you gotta stand up for yourself and say, hey, this is what I'm not gonna put up with. You just not gonna do me, just not gonna walk over me backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, are you worth having?
You gotta boil some hot grits and just sit them on the stove.
You ain't gotta hit them.
Say I ain't fixing no breakfast. I just wanna let you know I know how to boil some grits.
Right, don't make you act right. You ever one time a grit had popped on me. On my finger, and I was trying to get it off, and it wouldn't come out.
Oh, even when it come off, that heat still sitting there, man.
Goodness, dude.
Yeah, man. That's diabolical. Them grits, boy.
Sir, yes, it is. It's diabolical to eat it with salt and pepper too.
Sugar don't go on grits.
Well, don't get me started.
Yeah, we salt and pepper over here, man.
Oh man,
and butter.
We butter and
we salt and pepper over here.
Butter and sugar.
Yeah, a house divided cannot stand, ma'am. A house divided, right?
That part right there.
If you team salt and pepper and butter, drop it in the comments. If you team salt and butter with the grits, we just want to know real quick. Real quick.
We gotta know because we know it's sugar and butter.
No, it's grits, not cereal. What y'all talking about?
It's all cereal.
It's sweet grits. It don't even sound right. Sweet grits.
It sure tastes right.
All right, so we just wanted to drop those 5 signs. And these are just people who are prone. If you find yourself in either of these situations, and our producer's acting up, sugar and butter, no. Salt and pepper with some butter. All right.
I'm afraid to go on there. I'm afraid. They might as well put it in the pack with it.
Where's the weak spot in your own loyalty? The weak spot of your own loyalty. Not if, but where.
Don't you have to be loyal to yourself? I think we can try to be, because me loving my wife is not going to keep me from cheating. Me loving Christ is.
Oh wow, yes sir.
Because I love my wife, but when she be sleeping, sometimes I want to grab that pillow and but that's not to say I don't love her, because I do. But But I'm just saying, you go in relationships, man. Especially you're gonna go through peaks and valleys, and you don't necessarily have to be married for 100 years. You're gonna go through peaks and valleys, and there has to be something that's going to say a maturity level in a relationship to make you say, no, I'm not going to do that, because believe me, I used to be a superstar. I couldn't go nowhere, y'all. I remember I had went out to what's the mall out there in Grapevine Mills. I couldn't hardly get in the store, following people wanting autographs and talking to me and stuff.
It's a shame.
You don't love it like
don't love it like you do.
Do you laugh? Got to hope. I'm just saying, you have to have something. You have to have a level of maturity and something to make you say, no, I'm not going to do that. But if you don't, it's going to get you. It's going to get you.
So what happens when somebody becomes aware of these red flags? So these are red flags. Let's say you are the person seeing these red flags in somebody else.
You have a decision to make, and a conversation needs to be had. Because I was talking when we were talking about this at home. Me and Cheryl were going over the list, and she said, "Yeah, if I even think one of these things, somebody gonna get hurt." And I was like, "But I said, well, no. The list says."
When you don't notice, you don't notice.
You don't have to do that though. But
you said everybody need a healthy feel something. She was letting you know.
You try to give me my healthy
right. Give you your healthy fear.
Yeah.
Your healthy fear. Well, what if you recognize this in yourself?
I think you have to do something about it. I think you need to get some help. I think you need to I think relationships are only as strong as the individuals that we have around us in them. I think that's why I think it's important that you are around people that you want to be like. If you're around homongers, you're gonna homemonger. If you're around good guys, you'll be the next good guy. I think it's important. I think we don't put enough onus on who we're around and who we give our time to.
Yeah. And check on the person when you got friends that get quiet. Check on them. When y'all used to talking, I'm not just talking about surface stuff. I'm talking about y'all used to actually engaging in conversation and they get quiet. Check on them. Check on it. Because people, they'll talk to you to a certain degree, but if there's pressure still being put on them and they make that decision, like, all right, I don't care no more, I'm about to just do me, they typically get real distant because they don't want to be around somebody who's reminding them of, what they shouldn't be doing. They want to distance themselves from the good sense and the good, the common sense of, hey, you need to chill out or you need to talk to somebody or something. So if they get distant, you got to watch them. So
remember, my final thought for this evening is along the lines of what Derek is saying. People want to be held accountable, and you can tell when they don't want to be held accountable. Most of the time when we don't want to be held accountable is because we already have in our mind what we want to do, why we want to do it, and more importantly, who we want to do it with. So you have to pay attention to that. And when you notice that, all I ask you to do is just say, woo, my dad used to say that bush is real easy to get into, but you're going to have hell getting out of it. That's my final thought. That was another thing my daddy told me. He told me two things. Those two things.
Okay. And we're back. So, have you ever paid attention to the machine when they hook you up to check your heartbeat? You notice how there's spikes, right? So there's peaks and there's ups and downs on that machine. And when the line is flat, that person is no longer here. So you're trying to avoid the flat line. We're looking for relationships to where everything is always one way. We want all happiness all the time. We want all excitement all the time. And that's not where life comes from. Life comes from the ups and the downs, just like you see on that machine when that person's heart is beating good. when the relationship is beaten right, there's going to be peaks and valleys. There's going to be ups and downs. This is what makes life really worth it. Because if everything is always good, then good becomes common. And next thing you know, you got to chase the next high. That's how people get off into areas where they shouldn't be. Because you're chasing highs. You're chasing highs. No, just ride life out. Life gonna give you some highs, but it's gonna give you some lows to make you appreciate them highs. And so you ain't got to be chasing nothing else no more. But we got to learn how to settle ourselves. Commit, lock in, and just do life with people. Do life with people. If things get rough, talk to somebody, but by all means, let's try to stick it out. We got a responsibility to not even just our spouse, but to our whole community to make sure we do this thing right. And that's my final thought.
Well, if you cheat now, it's because you want to.
Yeah. We told you.
If you get cheated on, ain't like we can tell you.
We let you know. Listen, we appreciate y'all for joining us. Thank you all. Don't forget to share this out. Anybody watching, subscribe to the podcast. And we're going to keep bringing y'all some good stuff. But we out of here.
Y'all pull your pants up.
Right? Lock it up. Gonna holler at y'all.
Put one of them chastity things on.
Real chastity belts. Yeah. All right. Peace out. We're going to catch y'all later.